It's going to be an unusual one, because in case you have been living under a rock, you might not have realised that we actually got reference on the Docs and Jills podcast. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. So in case you don't know that, Docs and Jills lets its listeners get in touch by the Send It segment and the Dr. Jills segment. The Send It segment is more for questions, whereas Dr. Jills is more about advice. And this was what we did. This was literally like lastminute.co.uk. This was literally as we were in the airport. Yeah, because in case you've forgotten, obviously back in March, us three got to have the trip of a lifetime, attending our first ever PHL games in person, which was such an incredible experience to have. And if you want to check out all the post-trip content, you can do. It's called At the Casino. So there's a playlist on YouTube to watch it, and of course you can listen to them in the podcast feed. We are currently in the middle of spring clean the podcast, so we do various upper shows in the podcast. So going forward, if you see a title before the episode title, then you know it's for a different show. So depending on if it's Breedland, Olympic Hockey Show, or anything else we go on, because there's loads of stuff we did on the show, so I'm going to be tidying up the podcast feed over the summer, so that's just to watch out for, going forward. That's incredible. And there's various photos on my official Instagram at George D. Hanty. We'll go check out. You can do. We just got to do our thoughts on the hotels, and then that's all done for this particular trip. We do hope to make more trips to the PHL in person on a more frequent basis, where it's financially possible and humanly possible. Yeah, it's just incredible. So I thought, because this is our first time attending the PHL in person, I thought maybe I'd get in touch and see if they could give us any form of advice of what to do. So I wrote that email on the day we flew out. So we're in Manchester Airport. We got through security. We had a small amount of time before boarding at the gate. I wrote the email, and because obviously time differences wasn't sure how they were going to work, depending on how Tess to record the show and all that. I thought, right, I'll schedule it for about 10 a.m. our time, and over there, that should be fine. Now I had no idea if we're going to write about. Because whenever you get in touch to a podcast, you never really know if they will get in touch or not, or they'll read out what you say on their show. Various podcasts like newscasts say, we do read all your emails, but it's like, well, we never really have an emails section, do we, on newscasts? Do we, Adam Fleming? No. So, yeah. And then some podcasts just basically have a go at you when you do get in touch. Robert Peston! I know, Robert Peston got very naughty when I got in touch talking politics largely about how the media treats my Liberal Democrats. He got very naughty. Well, don't ask for viewer feedback then. You're going to get naughty at the questions. Now you know how it feels like when you ask us uncomfortable questions. Tit for tat. We have to answer them. If I get given okay, that's part of my job. I don't like it. That's part of my job as a performer. I have to be given. I sometimes get asked tough, difficult questions. I don't like it, but I do it because it's part of my job. Anyway, still not forgot that, by the way. Still not forgot that. Yeah. We do, of course, have an email. It is purplerainpodcast@gmail.com. We would love you to get in touch. We would read all your emails, and if we would get loads, we could then do like a mailbag once every month or something like that. So we do have an email. We've had it since day one. We always put it in the episode description since day one. It's purplerainpodcast@gmail.com. And if you like to get in touch, you can do with your thoughts on the show, your thoughts on what's going on in the league for any particular team, or you got any questions or potential ideas for future content, or as well as just good chat about PHL as a whole. We would love to hear from you as always, and we would definitely read your emails in full. Yeah. So we landed obviously around about 5 to 6 ish in Minneapolis time. We got to our hotel about sometime after 7 on the Thursday. So that's March 12th. And then the next day, March the 13th, we had quite a fair bit of downtime before the game. That Friday, Sister of Drops and Deals went up. It was a really great episode. We had Tara Heisey come on to talk about the Olympics. Buckle thought in for Julia because she had a bit of because she got flooded. Yep. And we get to the end. Are you gonna play it? I'm gonna see if we can play it. I'm gonna see if we can play it. If we can't, the link to the episode will be in the description below, so you can go and check it out for yourselves. I'm gonna try and see if we can clip it in. Okay, in a moment. So before the game, let's just check it out. We'll watch the episode out. Yeah, we'll watch it, and we get to the end. We get to Dr. Gerald, and Tessa starts reading the email, and I think the cog in your head was well, they didn't read out my name. They didn't. They said they went straight to Dr. Gerald. They didn't read out who the email was from. They just started reading. I thought this sounds a bit familiar. And then, hold on. It is! It's out! They actually are reading out our email on the show. They are actually reading out our email. It's like, oh my god! Literally can't believe that. That's crazy. So, yeah, and of course I mentioned in the email at the start of the email how I am a day one support of the PHL in Minnesota, also as an advocate, and make the Purple Rain podcast. Yeah, so Purple Rain got shouted out on the Drops and Jills podcast. That is absolutely incredible. I cannot believe that. I'm blown away. Yeah, I'm absolutely blown away. Yeah, can't believe it. Yeah, I generally can't believe that. Yeah, incredible. Yeah, so I was quite welled up by it. I thought, no way. Yeah, no way. But they actually were reading out our email, and we're in Minnesota, literally just like a few hours away from. But just a few hours away from getting out there. Because our hotel was not too far from Grand Casino Arena. It is one of the best hotels I've ever stayed in my entire life. Okay, shout out to the Holiday Inn in Minneapolis. That was absolutely one of the best hotels I've ever stayed in my entire life. Yeah, so friendly, so hospitable. So yeah, so it wasn't too far from Grand Casino Arena, which of course did the trick. Brilliant. So we stayed there for both legs in Minneapolis. Yeah, but it was incredible. In fact, so we'll do. Should we pause this? We can go rewatch the segment, and then we'll come back and talk some more. Should we do it like that? Yeah. Shall I go grab my headphones? Yeah. Right, that's what we'll do. We'll go and rewatch it. Okay. We're gonna go and rewatch it, and then we will come back and talk some more. Okay? That's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna get the headphones in. Right. So we're gonna take a quick pause. This will be where we'll try and clip it into the episode. And if not, there'll be a link to the episode in the description. Okay? We'll do that regardless. So hopefully Tess and Julia won't mind us using their content. They can use ours if they want. Not gonna give that seriously to everybody, but if the PHL wants to use some of our content, feel free, get in touch. purplepodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna find it. I put it in my like videos on YouTube, so we can do it by that. Okay, so let's just do that now. So here it is. So we're just setting it up, and then we're gonna hit the pause, and then we'll come back, and we will finish off this episode. Okay, we'll talk some more. Okay, so hopefully in a moment you will see the actual segment from that Drops and Gels, or if not, we'll just come straight back to us. We'll see how it goes. In the post production, we will do two versions of this. We'll do one with the clip in, and one without. We'll see which one copyright's happy with, and we'll go from there. Okay. Right. So we're gonna take a pause. Because I've got my headphones in, ready to go. So let me just find where the cursor is on the laptop. Just pause the recording. There we go. Right. Okay. So we're going to hit pause now. We're going to come back in a few minutes, okay? Okay, right. Here we go.
It's your first ever Dr. Jill segment. Are you ready for this?
I always listen to Dr. Jill, and I love hearing your guys' advice. So I'm really excited to toss in my few cents here.
Yeah, you love hearing it, but you haven't actually listened to it yet. Remember I told you to wash your gloves or maybe get a new pair because they're reeky?
No, I can't be me. Definitely not my gloves.
All right, let's get to it. Hey, Tessa and Julia, aka Buckles, for this episode. I have an urgent Dr. Jill's question for you. My name is George. What's up, George? And I'm a day one supporter and an advocate to the PWHL and Minnesota. Okay. And I make the Purple Rain podcast. Everybody support George. Go listen to Purple Rain.
Heyo.
I'm flying out from England for the Frost's next 3 games. Guy lives in England and he's got a Purple Rain podcast. What a legend. What advice would you give me attending the PWHL in person? Thanks. And from one PWHL podcast to another, keep up the good work. Right back at you, pal. We're going to be tuning in.
George.
All right, what do we got for Georgie here?
Oh, where does one start?
I know where you start. Tell us, Buckies, where do you start when you go to Minnesota?
I would be hitting right away Tom Reed's.
Yeah. 2 for 1
2
bevies.
for 1. 2 for 1 drinks, right, Tessa, on game days?
Yeah, what are you ordering?
So I don't know. I just I've heard that there's a go-to drink there called the Mind Eraser. I think it's just
sounds safe.
It's purple. It's purple themed, and maybe a little bit of vodka. So George, maybe get your hand on a couple of those and then head over to the venue.
Yeah, pack your dancing shoes though. Have some fun in there. Let loose. That's what it's all about in the PW. Just showing up as yourself and having a grand old time. The ladies will take care of the entertainment. You just make sure you're cheering loud and having a good time. George, we hope to see you there. There's a lot of games coming up for Minnesota.
And we're back. It was a very short segment there, but you just got called a legend by Tessa, George. We need to send this episode to them. So maybe before it goes out, we should send this to them, and they can have a first exclusive. Like how usually you can have channel members, they get first dibs at watching your content. I think we need to do that with this episode. So we send Nick's Drop Shows beforehand, and they can watch it beforehand, and then all that. Yeah, but that's right. But seriously though, you just got called a legend by the Tessa. Oh, yeah, right. She also called you Georgie. I will allow it. That's one of your pet peeves. That's why I know. I always think it's a pet peeve of mine to be called that. I just no. There is a dirty English song with my name in it. That's probably one of the reasons why. Yeah, whenever calls out, I always do get offensive because it's like, no, I've got a name. It's George, George. Use it or use my pronouns, he, they, or we. But the internet doesn't let you put weeb in your social shows when it comes to that. I don't know. Nope. If a social media account wants you to put pros in, you can't have the option of we or weeb. So I say I've got 3: he, they, and we in terms of for Tessa, I will allow it. For Tessa, I will allow it. Yeah, no, allow it. I do not let people call me Georgie, but for Tessa, I will allow it this one time. I will allow it this one time. Okay. But that was just incredible to you know have had that. Yeah, and be like, oh my god. Yeah, the fact that our podcast, which technically, don't go there, George. Technically launched before Tessa and Julia, just technically. Because we launched at the start of January 2024 and they launched at the end of 2024. So technically, in terms of PHL podcast, we're the oldest by about a few weeks. But let's not go into the nitty gritty picky there. No, but just, technically we did come first. But Tessa do it on more the professionals than we are. Yeah, because they can have nice graphics. They can have graphics where we just can just get a title sequence put in, the actual episode done, and a theme tune. Whereas Tessa they've got the graphics, they've got sponsors, they've got merchandise, they can chat to players. Do I need to say any more? And to add more insult to the wound, we didn't know about the Dr. Jules podcast until season 2. No. It wasn't until season 2 when it became the official podcast of the PHL. That's when we learned about it, and then it was like, wow, and we just got straight away and just really loved it. And so, last year during the World Championships last year, I went back and watched all the episodes from the first season. He did, like a binge. Yeah, he did. But yeah. So if you just started listening to that podcast, you know what you can do over the summer. Just go binge straight back. Say with us. Yeah. How many episodes are they made in total? Oh, let's not go there because we're closing in on 250. So I don't know. Anyway. But no, that was just. But you got called a legend by the Tessa. The Tessa called you a legend, George. Actually, not even met you. I'll take that. I will take that. I will gladly take that. Yeah. Put that on my CV. Got called a legend by a gold medalist in women's hockey. Yeah. So I will happily take that. I will happily take that. Yeah. So, Buckles, the advice you kind of gave wasn't really that good because we actually asked you guys for advice on. Headphones. Okay, put them on. Should have put them on the desk, not the floor. Oh my god. There we go. Leave them there. Leave them there. There we go. Should have done it in the first place. So I just want to make sure my headphones were fine because they do break. These headphones that I've got here, they are very handy, but they do break easily. The amount of times a year I have to spend money on buying new one of these is dreadful. And I have given wireless ones a go, but they really have not worked for me because they just keep falling out. So I thought, what's the point? I'll just stick to what I know. Yeah, stick to what I know. But I did get some at the start of the year and trialled them during the Olympics, which came very handy when we did the nightcaps. Yeah, but they just kept falling out a lot. They just was like, nah. So I just stick to these, which are kind of handy over the many years. Yeah, so we'll just do that. Yeah, the advice didn't really come in handy because it wasn't really advice on what to do during the games. Yeah, it was just basically, what does recommend the pub they can go and get pissed in? Yeah, thanks a lot, Brockles. And it's lazy! Stuff! Sorry, it's hilarious for us. Obviously, I've been in the family since 2013. He's been in the family since 2008. We know you so well, George. We know you don't drink. What did Buckles suggest? Go get vodkas! This is not funny. This is not funny. You don't do alcohol. You do not do alcohol at all. I don't know what. So where's this place she says? It's called what? Tom Reed's. Right. So I had to look it up. So apparently it's the Tom Reed's Hockey City pub. I'll put the link in the description. You want to check it out for yourselves. So it's a sports hangout bar with bar bites and drink specials, plus many TVs, outdoor seating, and hockey memorabilia. Ooh, what did they do? Watch parties? Did they do watch parties in Minnesota Wild? Because that could have been coming handy when the Wild were in Chicago when we were back in Minneapolis on the Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll look at have a look at it some of the time, and maybe we'll find that when we next go. If we didn't have suitcase drama, we could have on the flight back from Denver into Naples for the Fargo, we could have maybe utilised that Tuesday we had. Yeah, because basically Tuesday was going to be our free day to go and explore the city, but of course suitcase drama happened, so we didn't really get that as far as the hockey lodge at Grand Casino Arena. Nope. But it came very handy to get Nordy and my Wild jersey, which of course I did have to then wear for the far game of the trip. United Airlines are so lucky that I have an affiliation with the Minnesota Wild alongside my San Jose Sharks, so I didn't mind buying the Wild jersey. You've seen me wear it on post-trip content. You're going to see me wear it often more by doing hockey content online. So just bear in mind. You've seen Nordy as well come on a few times as well. We do let him come watch Frost games with us. We've got them on. Great that both the Wild and the Frost are guaranteed playoff hockey in 2026. That's brilliant. 3 of my hockey teams at the time of recording this episode on the 7th of April have clinched playoff berths. The San Jose Barracuda in the Coral Cup, the Minnesota Frost in the World Cup, the Minnesota Wild in the Stanley Cup. Just one team outstanding, and that of course is my San Jose Sharks, but I'm not holding my breath on that, especially how these two are now in the conversation. I know, at time of recording, us Kings are in the playoff spot, and yet we don't deserve to be there. No, we don't. Well, I'm glad you two can admit that. Because a lot of people are also thinking it. So, but because of how many regulation wins you've got. Right, yeah. So I don't drink. So unless they do sodas and Diet Pepsis, then I'm fucked. It'd be like, what's the point of going there? Unless we can sneak our own cans in, or bottles in. But we'll have a look at it, and maybe that's what we can maybe look into another time. Because obviously we didn't really have much opportunity to explore the city while there. Because obviously the trip was split up with a leg in Denver. We started in Minneapolis for the March 13 game. Then we head straight to Denver for the March 15 game. Then we came back into Minneapolis for the March 18 game. And it did go in the blink of an eye. It was a full week. It was Thursday to Thursday, but it went in a complete blink of an eye. So we didn't really have the opportunity to either actually attend the World game or even go and explore the city, which is what we originally were banking on doing on that Tuesday. But of course, it didn't pan out. So But we learn a lot from that first trip, and we will be looking to utilise it going forward. Because we're going to do, because we are hoping to do as many of these trips as possible. I think I just got turned out. I've been trying to a lot since coming back. This jet has been hard to shift. We are hoping in the future to do as many of these trips to the PHI in person as frequently as possible, but also where it is financially possible and humanly possible as well. So we'll see how it goes. That was absolutely incredible. I was not expecting that. They also did say we'll give it a listen. I've not heard if they have or not. Pluto! Well, they said they're going to give it a listen, so I'm not. I don't know if they have or not. Well, we'll find out when we send this episode to them, won't we? I wonder if Julie would have given different advice than that. Like, the house had been flooded. Yeah, I wonder if she might have given some different advice to that compared to Buckles to say just go and get pissed. Hey, I'm just touched they even got back in touch and replied, because it was literally it was the first part. We had 3 flights to do on March 12th. The first one was Manchester to Dublin, because I'm a born and bred Mancunian. I was born in Manchester. I've lived in Manchester my entire life. Yeah, so I'm a born and bred Mancunian. So that was the first flight. So it was Manchester to Dublin, and then from Dublin it was to Minneapolis, and then we came back on the 19th. It was basically done in reverse. Yeah. So it was while we were at Manchester Airport. That's when I did it, because I thought if we wait till Dublin, chances are they're probably already going to be recording the episode. So, yeah. So I thought let's just do it. If we're going to do it, let's do it while we're in Manchester and take the risk. If they reply to it, great. If not, it doesn't matter. We would go have a good time there ourselves. I mean, we've been out to the States Pocket before with the AHL in Saturday, so I've been a bit of idea of what we need what to do. Yeah, but it's just obviously I wanted to get out, because it's absolutely different. I can't describe to you the difference of attending AHL games in person compared to attending PHL games in person. It's no comparison. Yeah. I mean, for starters, PHL games are a more friendly atmosphere. Yeah. So it's a completely different. And yes, we are in an AHL barn, but it's a completely different experience to attending AHL games. It's a more better experience. So I recommend people go and attend a PHL game rather than an AHL game, because you'll have a much more better time. Yeah. So yeah, but that was just honestly, I could not believe that, because obviously when Tessa started reading the email, I thought, this sounds eerily familiar to what I wrote. And then as soon as I heard Purple Rain, it's like, the penny dropped. The penny dropped. They've got in touch to us. Our email. They've mentioned our show. It's like, oh yeah, starstruck. Oh my god, and all that. Yeah, that's incredible, and I think that just is just brilliant. When you have that moment, you know, it just shows that, you know, it's quite nice when a show you get involved with and listen to on a regular basis gets in touch with you. Just shows that connection. It's something that we would do if we did get responses, yeah, but obviously there's no pressure on that. We will not pressure anyone to get in touch if they don't want to, but the email is there. We always put our show's email in every single regular season episode. Yeah, we always do that, so that if you do want to get in touch over them, you can do. And we're open to all sessions. You know, you got questions, we will try our best to answer them where we can. If you just want to talk about a particular team, we'd love to hear that. If you got suggestions for future content of the show, absolutely. We would always take suggestions on board, not saying we'd implement them. Or if you just want to have a chat about Women's Hockey as a whole, we're here for that. We are here for that, because our show, it is a safe space to have those conversations, those deep and meaningful conversations, while also having a really good time in a sports league that we just literally absolutely love being part of. Yeah, so like I said, we've been day one supporters and advocates. I mean, if you're watching on the video, you will be able to see that I am in the inaugural season jersey for Minnesota. It's got Tara Heisey's name and number on the back. I won't do a 12 because it's a bit tricky in our work here to always try and then show the back of jerseys. And unfortunately, I'm not got anything else underneath this. We will not do strip teases. Thank you very much. No, not today. It's not a show and tell. Thank you very much. There's gonna be some guys out there going, "Oh, shame." Yeah, thinking, you want a bit of this. It's not that. But yeah, so you can see I'm actually in the inaugural Minnesota jersey if you watch it on the video. We've been day one supporters of the league and our team Minnesota, and also been huge advocates in and playing our part in trying to grow the league, whether it be through this podcast, which is getting very, very close to 250 episodes, or whether it's been through my own personal Instagram account, which of course is George D. Hand. That is the handle. Other men would create a second Instagram account for their sports fandoms. Not me. That's how much I care about women's hockey. I'm prepared to give up my own Instagram account to help grow this league. That's how much I care, boys and girls. That is how much I care. We're still debating whether or not you're going to bag all the other teams' jerseys and put them in your wardrobe, because you did say back when the jerseys got revealed in season 2. Yes, on the jersey, but I actually am caught on camera saying that, but it was not a hot mic moment. He thought it was, but it wasn't, and I've been debating ever since. Should I not? Especially how here in the UK we have terrible weather. In the UK, when it gets cold, it gets very cold. And when it gets hot, it gets boiling hot. So boiling hot, it becomes very, very hard to actually record in this studio, in this work studio. So, actually, you know what? I think I probably will bite the bullet. And for my birthday, maybe do it. Because by then, Vancouver and Seattle will have their second year jerseys. Because obviously right now Vancouver will have these, and I think, and the idea of this next year they'll have their logos put on. So I think I'll wait until my birthday rolls around in November, and that's when I'll probably bite the bullet and just do it to get each team's home jerseys. And then going forward, if we do episode on a particular team, we can then just put that team's jersey on, and when we're watching other teams' games, we can then put that home team's jersey on, just pretend to support them for the night. Yeah, that could be how it could go forward. Yeah, so it probably will happen, but I probably will have to hold out for one. Yeah. Or you can do the inaugural 6 in the summer and then get Vancouver and Seattle in November. We'll see. I've pretty much got every Frost jersey now, haven't I? You have, because you wear the inaugural season jersey there. You of course got your home and road Frost jerseys. You pretty much got every single Frost jersey you possibly can. Apart from that in the road version. But these were very bland. These jerseys in season 1 were very basic templates. So the road version is just basically this but in white. So I thought, nah, just back wilder. Yeah. It was quite a hassle to try and track this down, so yeah. But honestly, what an incredible moment for us. I mean, honestly, our podcast getting reference on Doctors and Chills. Crazy! We should maybe have a collaboration. Oh, now steady on. No, I agree. I think maybe we should see if we can do like a collaboration, from the 2 biggest PHL podcasts in town. Us on Purple Rain, the fans' perspective, and then Tess and G on Drops and Jills, the professional's perspective. I think I wouldn't say knock it. I wouldn't knock it. I would push that if I see George. Maybe see if we can do a collaboration at some point. I don't know. But how would that work? Because they live in Canada and we live in England. How would that work? Unless you're prepared for some long nights and massive cocoa, and we need to get some more tall bugs. Because the amount of times I have to keep us going back and forth with the kettle. I don't know. But that was just completely unexpected. I was not expecting that. I just was not expecting that. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, is there anything else you want to say, or should we just leave it there and get this put in post-production and send straight to them? Yeah. It was just, So, who knows? If we've got any more like that, we can maybe do that again in the future. But it was kind of like a baby boy kind of do sport. We are moments away from getting on that first flight. It's our first time attending the PHL in person. It's a lot different than having spent the last 3 years watching it on the telly. We could do this for advice on their front, so... Unfortunately, the advice was not helpful because it wasn't about the games and instead was about getting pissed. Well, hey, at least we've got a sports bar to check out when we next go. There you go. I mean, we didn't get to find it this time. Maybe that's what we can do that next time. Because if the schedules don't work with Wild being out of town again, then we can maybe go and pop in there. Yeah, see how that goes. No, honestly, I can't thank them enough again for actually replying to that email. Cannot. Absolutely horrible. And if you're thinking about doing that, go for it. You never know, they actually might get in touch and reply to that email on their show. Okay? And once again, one more time, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do it. It's purplebrainpodcast@gmail.com. We will do our best to read every single one. And if we get enough traction, we might in the future do mailbags where we'll just read out your lovely messages on the show. All last thing to say is, don't forget to listen and subscribe to both Jocks and Jills and Purple Rain, wherever you get your podcast. And for us, we will see you very, very soon. So until next time, as we always say on this show, to round it off, to wrap it up, take care, and don't forget to